Hello, welcome back to Left 4 Dead. So we're just going to do another in detail on chapter 2. I'm back on chapter 1 just to show you again this. So we have a wall. If that wall was there, then the safe house would not be accessible to the background. But somebody's evidently driven into the wall and exposed the safe house. On level 1, you enter in from that perspective, and as I said, the furniture moves. The reason why that's interesting is because, as we know, there's two characters. There's Krista, and then there's Jen and Aaron, as we were talking about before. So here we have just shut him up. So here we have Jen and Aaron. Jen is fine. Meet us at Riverside. Now they would have come up through this way and out that door and locked this door. So they would have either come up through the subway and gone down, or they could have gone down that way, but I don't think so. Krista, on the other hand, wants to go to Mercy Hospital, so she may have actually left before them, and then they locked the door after she left, and then Jen is fine, which makes me wonder if Jen was really fine. She might have been bitten or something, you know what I mean? Like, why would you ride that? So I'm thinking that the person on the bed might in fact be Jen. That's actually quite possible. Back in level 1, and which means Aaron might be the one on the roof, if that's the case. We also have them talking about somebody saying the radio is saying Fairfield has been quarantined. I think that was Krista that was taking that. And whoever selfishly took because there's no radio in here, so whoever took the radio, selfishly took the radio, might have been to their detriment, which we'll talk about that a bit later as well. There's a little mask again. There's Keith. Now, if this is the same Keith in Left 4 Dead 2 that's constantly Ellis talks about, somebody asked Gabe Newell, whether Keith was a real person, and of course everyone's imaginary here. But when it comes to the law, Keith was real. Like Ellis, it wasn't a figment of Ellis's imagination. Keith was a real person. If that is the same Keith here, then this gives us some sort of guideline. The Mercy Hospital evacuation started taking place 13 days after the initial outbreak, and of course we're at day 14. So this was written either a day beforehand. The other possibility, if it is Keith, is probably a week ago. And if that's the case, Krista's heading to Mercy Hospital not to be evacuated. There's no thing here. Unless if she... Did she write Mercy Hospital? No. There's no... So I'm thinking she's actually going to Mercy Hospital not to be evacuated, but she needs help. And I think she might have been the one that took the radio. Whoever knows, she may have been the one that smashed the wall down. Anyway, so as I said, the other thing I want to point out is that these doors done by Cedar, if the bars are crossed, no tank can open them. So they're a specially designed door against the special infected from being able to break in if the bars are crossed. But as soon as the bar comes down, the tank can actually break into it, because it's that little bit weaker. You can actually just crash near the door and gun him through. That's possible as well, but that's a very rare thing because sometimes he gets stuck in the door. So as I said, we'll talk about basically why these safe rooms are a death trap. We'll go through some Easter eggs. I'll talk about the tank, the pipe bomb, but I want to talk about Zoey for the moment. So I just wanted to talk about the comic side of things, the background. So Zoey, she has a special role. She's quite special. She's the only female in this dysfunctional group in the game. Because of that, she gets treated a bit more carefully, playfully than than the boys with each other. So her personality kind of changes after a while. This is 2 days after the first infection. This is called The Sacrifice. It's an official comic by Valve. So this is 12 days before the game. Her mum here, Caroline, her father Wade, they're divorced, they're arguing over the welfare of Zoey. Zoey's, I believe, living in a Wade's apartment with the mum, she's a college student. Zoey's studying to become a filmmaker, but she's kind of not taking it seriously, bumming around watching old horror movies, calling it research. 2 days after the infection, is still known as the flu. It's not really taken seriously at this point. Her old man Wade is a policeman, and he wanted Zoey to be a police officer too. This is why he took her constantly down to the gun range, where she learned how to I guess to be ambidextrous. We see in the animation she can dual wield pistols and shoot with both hands quite easily. But Caroline didn't want her daughter to be put her life in jeopardy. Breaking up drug deals. That's not kind of the life she wanted for her daughter. An infected gets into the apartment somehow. Wade warns this person, not kind of getting Zoey picks up a knife, not kind of realizing it that this person's infected. He bites into Caroline. He does eventually put down the zombie, or the infected. Zoey doesn't react in time. Actually, Zoey's body is designed after actress Sonia Kinski. So it's just an interesting thing. Wade must love Caroline, his ex, because he calls her sweetie here. He's trying to reassure her that everything's going to be alright. Tells Zoey to call 911. She runs off to call. In any case, it doesn't go well. Caroline, within that short period of time, we're not sure, we can only assume minutes of some sort, might be 5 at the max. Caroline's turned in that time and has bitten into Wade. Zoey coming back into the room to find out startles the infected Caroline, who then launches for her own daughter. But Wade still with it. He hasn't turned yet. He pulls out his gun and shoots his own ex-wife. Then Wade says, well, you know what needs to happen. We've seen enough zombie movies together. I love you, Zoey. And she says, I love you, Dad. And then she does a mercy killing. And we'll find out later on down in the track that the mercy killing probably wasn't necessary. But anyway, that's for another time. Because she's lost both her parents, kind of Bill in the game fills in that void of being her father. Francis was originally supposed to be her love interest, I guess, to some degree. but Valve stopped that. They thought it was too distracting, and Lois is always just a close friend. But as I said, Zoey gets special treatment from the guys because she's the only girl in there. They have a special spot for her. Even though her eyes change in the comic, they're actually green in the game, which is a very big rarity, DNA rarity. She's actually voiced by Jen Taylor, the same person who does Princess Peach in the Mario games. So that's a little bit of background about Zoey. Okay, let's go. Alright, so basically I'm going to go straight on through chapter 2. We're in Holly Street Station. I'm not sure if that's an Easter egg squid. This one is. Eric Wolpal works for Valve, and apparently he wears that type of shirt. So that's the big joke. Zoey, Boomer Boss, and you might see those type of shirts on some of the zombies too. So that makes me wonder. I don't know if that's an Easter egg. I'm not sure on that one. So here you'll find a radio that usually spawns here, which makes me wonder if this is as far as Krista got, because she was by herself. So that little journey is all she was able to do. Not that her body is found, but there is a blood stain here, so that might be Krista. Sorry, Keith. Yeah, I'm not sure. Over here, Channel 5 News, maximum Doppler guaranteed. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Now, with the pipe bombs, did I pick it up? No, I didn't pick it up. With the pipe bomb, you get a lot of these type of graffitis. I think they could be just screen names of people that work for Valve. That's the problem. You get a lot of in-house jokes, as said, that really don't mean much to us, and they don't really care to explain ever. So the pipe bomb will always be sort of lit when you're holding it. I believe the military actually invented it, and it's more used as a diversionary thing. It's even though it seems to be military grade, and I would say the military are responsible for a lot of this. Now the special effects aren't ever worried about these sort of things, but they exploded 5 to 7 seconds after I've thrown them, probably around about 10 to 13 feet worth of an explosion, and that means you could possibly kill around about 20. But to do that, you really need to throw it along the floor. Remember that it can actually hurt your own men too. There is a nice little trick, like if you jump off the building where you start and you throw a pipe bomb and you'll land as it explodes, the stumbling effect animation actually cancels out any fall damage, so you're able to land in a situation where hate these smokers. I really hate them. I think that's about it. The other thing I'll notice is that even if you're covered with Boomerbile, the animation of the pipe bomb will still supersede, meaning that sound stimuli supersedes. So that was about 20 there. Supersedes any smell stimuli. You'll see that it was quite extensive, the subway. Evidently subway's overrun, and the extensive damage. Oh, how can... Oh, he's going to kill me soon. Come on, quick. Thank goodness I'm on. Easy. That would have been dead. Problem is the guns are just not powerful enough. They feel like they're... It's one thing I don't like about this, the gun. Like, the actual strike. So this is an Easter egg of the orange box by Valve. Thanks, buddy. Again, another product by Valve. There's not really much to say. Oh, hello.
I think I'll take the shotgun.
Again, you could have a lot of... what's that down there? Do I have anything?
Over here.
I don't know, Molotov. Don't even know what that was. So there's been quite an extensive amount of damage done by the military here. Hunter somewhere around here. Oh, what is it with that hunter? Give him to me, I'll blow him up myself. Like, the actual striking mechanism, is it actually more powerful than the actual gun? Alright. So we evidently have the military here. They've tried to... Can't hear him. Yep, I can see him now. Now, if you... Actually, I want to shoot him. Yeah, well, because it was easy. So, a tank has about 8,000 health on expert. About 3,000 on... you'll see that he's all muscles, hypertrophy, they call it, where you're just nothing but muscles up the top. Kind of walks around like a primate. You can see his upper body, his normal body, lower body's pretty much normal. He's not cloned as far as I can tell. Like, the majority of him is cloned, like they all look the same. And that's the part with this virus. This virus has a cloning mechanism to it. One of the most popular, like they always say, is that when the green flu gets bodybuilders, then that explains why they turn into the tank. Some say muscle enhancements, steroids, all sorts of things. Look, muscle supplements and all sorts of things like that. And those people turned into the tank. That's what the green flu did to them. Big problem with that. Statistics don't show that. Especially in Left 4 Dead 2, there's a statistic on the very first level that shows how many tanks. It should have been a lot more if it's all bodybuilders turn into the tank. It's also only the males that turn. Look, you don't need outside influences. It might be one specific steroid that might have this effect, but not all steroids, because the statistics don't allow that. And definitely not every bodybuilder or something generalistic like that. We don't know what causes a special infected, and the tank is like a boss of the special infected. Again, 8,000 health, so in perspective that's like 32 shotgun bullets, or 32 to 40 shotgun bullets, which is crazy. That's now, if you catch him on fire, I think it's about, I'm not sure, about 30-40 seconds he needs to run around on fire. He's actually faster than you if he's on fire. He's the same speed as you if he's not on fire. So that kind of gives you some sort of idea. When he's on fire, his health depletes, and you can rid him a lot quicker, or you can just let him burn and try and run away from him. So as you can see here, the military really set up here. And oh, by the way, something that the tank says, because ultimately, as you know, this is the rabies, a mutant form of the rabies pathogen.
Kill the light.
What's which? But one of the because he's always aggressive in that. But when you shoot him, he does say the word no. So that is in sound files. So he's the only one that actually does talk. So I'm guessing that the military, because it was 2 weeks after the infection, and this is part where they try to I'm assuming because they were running out of power, that they tried to tap into the emergency generators. And this is something that the military tried to do. So this is going to start a panic event, as you said, times 2 the original horde, and on expert every one will give you times 2. So you'll see all the rations. Yeah, so the military definitely tried to take a big thing here, stance. One of the easiest ways of dealing with this is just jumping up. You'll only have to deal with smokers. Even on expert, I found this is the easiest. Just kind of crouch there. When they jump down, they'll actually have to. They'll have to jump down. I can actually just. So on these is pretty easy. Something has been taken care of already. And all these bodies, like if you actually look in the subway, the bodies, there's bodies and bodies of the infected. That was probably the military and whoever came up through the subway to the Fairfield safe room that you just came from. So they're probably hardcore and they went that way. I don't think there's anything over here. I'll just quickly check. Nothing over here of interest as far as I know. I'm just going to go in here. Whoa. Not this time. Again, where the military tried to set up. The other thing here is the calendar. It's got 31 days. It looks like it's October, which would make sense because the virus actually took place on one of the later days of September. Don't know the year yet. Couldn't tell by looking at it. But that makes sense. If anyone knows what that is, please type it in the comments because I would like to know or if anyone can clear up any of that, please let me know. Again, there's a graph here, but it's easy. It's more easier to see it on the bottom floor, so we'll just shoot to the bottom floor. Look how clean these toilets are. No graffiti. Like, everyone graffitis out here, like this, the world is a toilet. But the graffiti artist is like, no, exact opposite of this world. Where is that? Maybe I went past it. Or maybe it's down here. Oh, it's here. Oh, the lights aren't on. Sometimes the lights are on and you can tell. See, I can't see what this is. I can't really. If anyone knows what the hell is, can you please type it in the comments, because I really can't see. So we have the City Times Daily Edition. Is that the same? You have the again, the Mercy Hospital. We're very close now, and there's nothing really else I've checked. Oh, there's plenty of copy paper and masonry inside. There's also in this office, I think. So you see heaps of copy paper. It's probably where they've been typing all the CEDA stuff. CEDA evacuation or CEDA quarantine notices. Got a piano. Don't think I can play this. That's about it there. So let's close in the door so we can talk about what we need to talk about. So I said this would be a pretty in-depth, and hopefully it's giving you some things. I don't buy that whole bodybuilding thing, as I said. Maybe one drug might have that effect, but the virus itself had a cloning aspect to it. Keep that in mind. Nobody is going to save you. Evacuation notice. Now this is the only time it says the evacuation is definitely Mercy Hospital. As I said, that was on day 13. They started arranging that. We've got some cans. Somebody's already started eating. Looks like they've taken the guns. So you've got a radio. So they've left the radio here this time. They didn't take the radio with them. We've got water. We've got pretty much what we think. Now here we have the same, but somebody's put not airborne. Now this was one of the survivors. The thing about this is everyone's got the virus. I would say everyone's got the virus, but only those that, because it would be pretty much impossible, especially around now, to not have the virus. So those that don't show any symptoms, oh no, everyone has the virus. Maybe some people in certain aspects, we'll talk about that later. But the majority, all these people that have been riding are probably carriers. They've got the virus. But because they're not showing any symptoms, because they're asymptomatic, they don't think they have the virus because they're not showing any symptoms. So to them, it's not airborne. So they've written this. Now, if they're under the belief that they're not, they haven't got the virus, then they probably wouldn't be washing their hands or washing equipment or anything. I mean, look at the state of this stuff. So if you don't have the virus, generally don't, and you come in here and you touch something that they've already touched, then you now have the green flu. So all these areas would have been absolute death traps. And imagine coming in here and you don't have any guns, or coming in here and you don't have a radio. You don't know where to go. It would have been death. Nobody is coming to save us. They are going to bomb the city. Get out. So there was maybe, possibly, a previous bombing. We'll talk about that in two chapters time. But there's going to be a more serious bombing. They're going to completely devastate the area. Heather, this is from Rick. Ignore the plan. Airport is quarantine. Meet me at Mum's. So he's off to Mum's. Might be his sister or something, relation. Anyway, Helen Lane, Dad and me love you, and we are all right. Will, so that's somebody, Dad and Will, for Helen Lane. They can talk, which might be. Look, as I said, none of them can talk, but the only one that can is the tank. He actually does say no. So that might have freaked them out, and that might be the reference there. Andrew Hale, Danny and I love you, and that's it. So there's no sign of Krista. She probably died it's not long after leaving the room, the safe room. Well, join me next time as we continue on with an in-depth look at Left 4 Dead. Until then, bye for now.